Hey everyone. So we've had quite a few questions about what is going to happen to our class teams when they become archived on July the 6th. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a bit of a tutorial on where you can find those archive teams and how you can still reuse a lot of what you have created in this school year for your next school year. So first thing is, where do we find our archived teams? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up into this cog right next to join and create teams. And when we click on it, we have an option to manage teams. And that's what we're going to click on to find our archive. And so now you can see a list of all of your teams and the ones that are active. And if I look below, I now have archive teams. And so these are going to be where your classes from the previous school year will all go. So they'll all be listed here. And you can still open up the team and look through and find things from the past school years. There are a few things that you won't be able to change or edit anymore. You'll notice that our posts area is now closed, so we can no longer post in this area. But we can still go through and we can look at things like their grades, and we can still pull those things for use in future school years. So we can still access these. We can export their grades to an Excel spreadsheet, and we can still use all those things. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to delete the team. So make sure you don't delete any of your archive teams, because there are still a lot of things that we can use from an archive team when we're setting up a new class team. So let's go back and let's look at all these teams here. And I've created this one here for us today to show you what a new class was going to look like. Keep in mind that all of our teams are generated from PowerSchool, so there's no need for you to go ahead and create new teams with your new class teams in them. You will have all that generated by PowerSchool. So PowerSchool will create your new class teams and will put the students into those classes based on your schedule and your lists in PowerSchool. So when you have your new classes available to you, you can open up any one of them. So I'm going to open up this one here. And you can see that it's a blank slate. There's no channels except for our general channel that our teams always come with. There's no class materials. There is no class notebook. There are no assignments. There's no grades. Everything is fresh. So how do we take what we did with our teams in previous years and reuse them in our brand new teams? So there's a couple of ways of doing this. For assignments, let's click on Get Started. And I have a button here, Create, just like previous. And there is an option that says From Existing. So let's click on From Existing. And you'll see a list of all your classes that are available to you, including the ones that are archived. And you can tell which ones are archived because it will have this little note next to the name of the class that has this little bin and it says archived. So let's click on that one because there are some assignments from that year that I'd like to reuse. So let's hit next. And you can see this is a list of all the assignments that my students did in the school year on teams. So if I want to reuse any one of these, what I'd like to do here is click on one of them and hit next. So you can see I have from existing here as an option along with assignment and quiz. So I'm going to click on from existing. And now you can see I have a list of my classes here, both current and archived. And you can tell which ones are archived because it has this nice little note here that says archived with a little bin. So let's click on the archive team and next. And you can see now I have a list of all of the assignments from that archived team. So let's click on one of them. Next. And there it is. I have now copied an assignment from my archived team from last year, and now I can use it again for this new school year. And you can see right now it's still copying things over, and I can go ahead and if I want to make any small edits or changes to my work, perhaps maybe I want to increase or decrease the point value, or I can change which classes are going to get it, because remember you can submit an assignment to multiple classes. I can go ahead and edit the new due date and change students. You can go through and do all that stuff that you would have done the previous school year. And now it's ready to assign. It's been copied over, so let's hit assign. And so now this assignment from the previous school year is ready to be used again for this school year. So now let's look at our class notebook. So right now you can see that it's asking me to set up my class notebook. Your class notebook, if you remember, is exactly just like a digital binder where you can store notes for your students, and your students have their own digital binder for themselves to use. So let's go ahead and set up this new class notebook for our brand new school year. So when I click on set up OneNote class notebook, you'll see I have options for a blank notebook or from existing notebook content. And this is the one that we are going to use, is from existing notebook content. And this is just a little reminder on what your students can interact with and what you can interact with on your class notebook. So we're just going to move past that and hit next. And you can see here now I have options to add content from a content library and from teacher only sections. So let's click on add content for our content library. And you can see here are all of the different notebooks that I have created, both ones that are part of PLC teams and other teams that I've created, and even some notebooks that I've created independent of teams. So this one here I know is the notebook from my previous class. Let's click on it. And next. And I can click on these drop downs to select areas from those content libraries and teacher only areas. So I want to make sure that my spelling lists and my tests and my videos and my math and my Bitmoji all go into my brand new class content library. So let's hit done. And for my teacher only section, let's add in from there, same notebook, my class notebook from 2019-2020. And my teacher only section, I'm going to bring in my quizzes and my worksheets. All right, so now it looks like I've got all the sections that I want into the content library selected, and I've got all the sections that I want to go into my teacher only section as well. So let's hit next. And now it's asking me how I want the tabs for my students' notebooks to be laid out. I'm going to keep these as they are because I know I can always go back in and manage that notebook later on and change these or add a new section. And let's hit create. Okay, now it's telling me that it is ready to go. So let's take a peek. There's my content library. And there they are. They're my Bitmoji classroom, and my videos are all there. My spelling lists are already there. My teacher only section should have my worksheets and my quizzes in it. It may take a little bit for some of these to completely populate, but I can tell right now that this is just loading, no problems. This is everything I need from that previous year, now ready to use for my new school year in their new class notebooks. So this is very exciting, very quick and easy to do. And so now let's talk about our files area. So you can see right now in this class team, I'm going to have my class materials folder. as it always has. And remember, this is a read-only area for your students, but it's completely open for you to edit as the owner of the team, as the teacher. But you'll notice that right now it's empty. So I want to make sure that those files that I used from this class last year are files that I can go ahead and use again. So what I'm actually going to do right now is I'm going to go back into the archive because I have a bunch of files from that old team that I really want to reuse. So let's go back, manage teams, and find that archived team from last year. There it is. I'm going to open it up and come into my files area. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this button here to open in SharePoint, but I can also click download. So there are two options. You can go ahead and open this up in SharePoint and download these files from SharePoint, but let's just go right ahead and click download. And so right now you can see it's downloading a zip file. And what a zip file is that it is a compressed file that contains all of this in one folder. So let's open up my downloads folder and find it. All right, so there it is, because that's what I saw download. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it and let's uncompress it. So I just right clicked on it and I'm going to use extract all, and it's asking me if this is the destination, so I'm going to hit extract again. And there it is. Within this folder contains all those files from my previous team. Let's open it up. There they are, my videos, my week 1 and 2 folders, a couple of different files as well, a little recording I did for them, and their etiquette rules. So what I'm going to do here is I am simply going to shrink this down just a little bit. There it is. And I'm just going to hold on to that and keep it down here for a second. And let's go back and let's open up our new class team and go into our files area and open up my class materials folder. And now I'm going to grab all these files and we're just going to drag and drop into my folders. And there we are. I have copied all these folders from one team into my brand new team. My videos, my week 1 and 2 activities, everything is there. So it's just that easy. And so now I have my team from last year now ready to go for a brand new school year. My class notebook is set up. I can pull in a bunch of new assignments. I can check out and use the files that I used from last year. They're all ready to go for the brand new school year. So I hope that you found this tutorial helpful and that it makes the brand new school year a little easier for you.